presents Chalked Blocked with Bo Big Time McBrayer.
Bam! I gotta know what a $5 shake tastes like.
That's hot. That's hot.
I want winners, folks. You don't know diddly.
And his partner, Scott Stag Simpson.
Do you know who I am?
Trying to put Tiger Bomb on this jungle's nuts.
That's cute. I remember when I had my first beer.
I gotta catch a glimpse of these warlocks. Let's make a move. Let's make a move. Let's make a move.
Hey, you guys, welcome back to Chalk Blocked, the world's sexiest DFS show for now. I'm Bo McBigtime. Scott is dropping his whiskey glass in celebration. He's already turned up on a Friday night.
Possibly.
I wouldn't expect anything less from this crab cake eating motherfucker from Maryland, celebrating on my demise all day long. And yeah, it's true. I haven't beaten him in a head-to-head DFS match since my 10-game losing streak ended in November of last year. I ended a long winning streak and it began a long losing streak. And I have a lot to do to make up for that this week in the Clash of the Beards and Bellies. But this is Chalk Block. We're going to go over the whole slate, aren't we, Scott?
This is actually the Clash of the Beards and Bellies, but that's okay.
If perfect.
Yes.
No,
so
gloat
gloat
away.
Yeah, I was just going to gloat away a little bit because it was a close matchup, and honestly, I think this is the only thing that helped me win is the differentiation in the game script of the different teams that I had. Not having your build was more GPP. You had more upside for sure with Jameis. I like that Kamara and Olave, but it hit with Thomas. So you had the pieces. Just the wrong pieces of that puzzle. The puzzle was there, though. You were thinking correctly. So that was the only thing I would say kind of helped me kind of get over the edge against you in that match. It was a really close matchup. So I won by like 6-7 points. So no blowing.
I was up by 0.34 until the corpse of Zach Ertz scored a fourth quarter garbage time touchdown.
Oh my gosh!
And gave you the victory.
Yeah, he did. There he was. Questionable all the way. The way.
Game time decision. Didn't do anything all game long
Nothing.
until the fourth quarter when the game was in hand. He had no business being out there.
Nope.
And yet he scores the game-winning touchdown for Scotty Stacks.
I'm grinning ear to ear. And this one's for you, Zach Ertz. Invite me to your Bible study. I'll bring the scotch, Yeah, I mean.
I got my canteen ready. I need to hydrate.
Yeah, come on. Let's go. Come on, let's go.
Because you hadn't checked your score all day. We were talking on Sunday afternoon. He's like, I haven't looked at any scores. And I was like, well, you're a madman because I've been checking scores since 10 a.m. Pacific time. And as soon as the first touchdown happened, I was like, oh, all right, what did that do for me?
Right,
and no sooner did I look it up for you. We're on the phone together, and I look it up, and I'm like, dang, guess how close it is. And you guessed like 4 or 5 points, and I was like, no, I'm only up by 0.34. And as soon as I said that, Earth scored, and you won by 7.
You were like, fuck. You were like, gow, just like you, Simpson. So look. That's not luck, folks, but it is just how the luck of football works itself, right? I mean, honestly, 44 points. They're losing. They're not going to win that game. They're not going to make up 44 points on that one play. They're not getting a 40-point touchdown. They're not down 40.
Them's the breaks, kids.
Right.
Them's the breaks.
So we're back again. This is week 2. I'm drinking my victory celebration. My guy Brad is in the comments. Love Brad. Yeah. That's funny. I skipped the scores to enjoy the game when I'm not at Nissan Stadium. I mean, if you're in a good place, if you're at Nissan Stadium, you got to do what you got to do. Let's bring in Bo's build this week. We're going to go quarterback, running back, wide receiver, tight end, flex, and then we've got different quarterbacks, which is good because we've got a lot of other similar players. So let's talk about your Derek Carr pick here and why you like him in this cash like head-to-head matchup.
Well, we just saw what Kansas City did to the secondary. Derek Carr looked really good last week in a loss against the Chargers. And it's really important to note that this Arizona secondary is going to be one that we pick on all year, just by the looks of what Patrick Mahomes did to them with an awful receiving core. We just saw what a good professional secondary does to the Chiefs receiving core. It shuts it down. Juju Smith-Schuster went from 70 yards receiving and a really solid PPR effort to basically being non-existent. 3 catches, 10 yards, didn't do anything. And that's how bad this Cardinals secondary is. I'm taking full advantage of Derek Carr at home opener at Allegiant Stadium in Vegas. It's going to be rocking. Devontae Adams is the stack here. That's what I wanted to do. Is I wanted 2 or 3 stud wide receivers, and I wanted to stack one of them with an affordable quarterback. So I kind of had a choice here between Carr and Joe Burrow. I found that my build was a little bit more hardy for this type of head-to-head with Carr versus Burrow, even though I like both of them.
I like it too. Burrow price up 6,600, so a little bit more expensive. You're saving.
Didn't quite have the wiggle room to do what I wanted to do there.
Right. No, I'm with you. Oh no, I'm not with you. So yeah, okay, now I'm with you. All right, there we go. So am I still with you? I hope
dimes.
Yeah. I'm going Danny the Dimes. We've heard of him.
That's
before.
Risky.
It's
risky biscuit.
It is completely risky. And I'm not gonna lie, I'm very
crazy,
scared.
man. You crazy.
Right. It's kind of how I feel right now.
I think that this pick tells me that the win last week and all these subsequent wins from last year have gotten to your head. Your ego's out of control. It's the only thing that can explain rostering Daniel Jones in a negative matchup.
I know.
In a head-to-head, which is like this is a purely GPP move because nobody in their right mind is playing Daniel Jones this week in DFS unless they're in a Millie Maker type situation.
I agree, and the reason why it might just be Galaxy Brain Genius stuff is he's at 5,100. I just need him to get 15 points, right? That's really all I need him to get, right? I know. There's some rushing upside in this matchup on Danny Dimes' end, so that's
all he's got.
I'm hedging my bets there. I also like that you have Saquon, so he gets a rushing touchdown, kind of eats into if my guy passes it, eats into yours. It's there. He's there totally because he's the cheapest piece of quarterback I could put in. I treated my quarterback this week like I treat my defenses. So if that was it, I said I'm going shitty quarterback, shitty defense, right? And the defense isn't even shitty. We'll get to that later. But that was my build to start with. And you'll see why in a little bit because, I've got more wiggle room to play with here. Let's talk about Saquon, though, because I think that is the linchpin of your team. This is what's going to differentiate you and help you kind of beat me.
Yeah, it's the only big difference in our lineups is me having Saquon over your Michael Carter. It's the big turning point for my roster is I need Saquon to not necessarily repeat what he did last week when he was RB1 or 2, RB1. But at 7,300, he's underpriced by about $2,000 this week,
Agreed.
Which means in a GPP, he's going to be super duper chalky. But in a cash game, a head-to-head, I got lucky that you didn't also have Saquon because he's such a good play for points per dollar. I do expect a 25 to 30-point performance against Carolina, who does not stop the run as well as they stop the pass, which is why you need Danny Dimes to run for his life and try not to throw the ball too often because that's where he gets into real trouble. But Saquon, I think, is he's going to have to do what I hope he does, which is 25 points, 20 to 25 minimum for me to beat you this week because of how many similarities we have in our lineup builds.
We are very similar. We'll get to that because we haven't even got to the core of our builds yet, which are the same. Exactly.
Yeah.
So let's talk about my running back, Michael Carter, real quick. 11 targets. What are we doing?
Flacco dumps it off every play. So what are you gonna do?
All that, and he's still the quarterback this week, correct?
Yeah, unfortunately.
Ooh. Okay. I know Cleveland, a little bit better defense. They're going to be all over Flacco's backo, getting the sacco. So he's going to be dropping that backo off, tracko, quick, whatever it is. It's going to happen. So
all I hope is that they give Breece Hall a little bit more of that pie this week than they did last week. But Carter looked really good, so I think they have something special with their receiving core and their running back tandem. Which a lot of people said Breece Hall was going to just be the bell cow, but that's not the case here. When you have two quality running backs that can play professional football and be a good all-around pro, you're going to use them.
Yeah. Let's talk our flex and our running back because we have both the same for both. And so I think we should kind of wrap up the running backs here and talk about why we have it in our flex first, and then talk about who we have. So this is a strategy that I've seen you use. And so this week, I honestly did copy that strategy. I didn't think I was going to copy your build necessarily, and some of the players, but I actually made mine immediately after I put it in. So mine was made before yours, honestly, no offense, but I think we're on some of the same guys and for a lot of the same reasons. But talk about the advantage of putting a high volume running back in your flex and what that does in your head to head in your GPP, not your GPP, in your cash games compared to your GPP.
Well, it's not very often that I have to use a late swap, but I have the ability to if I put somebody who's in the 4 o'clock window in my flex, as I have pivot ability. I don't necessarily have to use it if things are just kind of shaking out a certain way and I need to swap out that guy for somebody else. I can do it if he's in my flex at the later window. If he's in my flex in the early window, once lock happens, you can't do anything about it. But you can play around with that spot as long as his game hasn't started yet. So that's what I do a lot of times. I'll throw my later window guys in the flex just so I have the maneuverability if I need to use it.
I love that. I've also been in conversations with you and Jordan Vanek as well. That's kind of looked at like metadata from the last couple seasons. It looked at running backs earlier on in the flex position had more upside, and so we're not GPPing it, but we're looking for upside, trying to beat each other. Like that's the goal here. And so I think there is a lot of upside in this play. I wrote about him in nimblewnumber.com. GPP plays to get paid, and I think you mentioned this as well. The best value to get 2 touchdowns this week. If you're looking for that double tutty, he could run 2 in on the goal line. He could also catch one and run it in as well. Being a PPR hybrid there, he's been able to catch the ball in the backfield. It's not like they need to take him off the field. So I really love that play for both of us. Unfortunately, you had it too. So it's it's a moot point for us. All right, let's talk wide receiver because we both have Devontae Adams and we both have Jamar Chase. Holy hell, these are great plays this week. These are just great plays this week. I'm all over both of them. I'm not going to lie to you. For nimblewnumbers.com, I wrote up a paragraph for Jamar. I wrote a paragraph for Devontae Adams because they're both the high-priced guy. I wrote them both up, and then I deleted them both, and I wrote them both up again, wrote new ones up. And so I went with Adams at the end because I think Adams, his ceiling's a little bit higher in this matchup because T. Higgins did practice today. He's a full go, and that's important. I mean, you want him there, honestly, to help Jamar Chase not have to be the only, but still – another hand to put the ball into. So, but Devontae Adams, oh man, grandma's coming, bro. Like I buy into the grandma narrative 100%. Like,
hell yeah.
You don't play in front of your Meemaw, but one time for the first time. And you don't think the team knows that? You don't think like everybody on the team is just like, dude, his grandma's.
It's not like Devontae has to really need extra incentive to earn more targets. He's always open. He's the best route runner in the league. Right. Yeah, and so both of these guys for me have the same upside. And Chase, I think, is even a better play because he's $600 less. But you got to compare these. Both of these guys have 2 quality receivers next to them competing for routes. Devontae Adams has Darren Waller and Hunter Renfrow, and Jamar Chase has T. Higgins and Tyler Boyd. Right. There's competition for both these guys, and both of these guys are winning that competition for targets, and at least they did in week 1. And they're both in extremely A+++ matchups this week. So therefore, we're playing both of them. We're spending up at the 2 most explosive players this week as far as what we're looking at matchup wise and price wise.
These are kind of the lineups too that you might want to dump in some of those medium-sized GPP plays. But it's like you said, the GPP lineup with Deion Jones. Honestly, I'm treading lightly here. I'm
gonna put this one in a 3 max $27 entry. I think it's just that $27 3 max entry. That's what this is for. I think.
Thank you. Let's talk about your spot here. I love Paris Campbell. There was no practicing today for Michael Pittman Jr., unfortunately, on the year of our Lord 2022, week 2 of the NFL season. You need to know these things. These are just important things, right?
Very important.
Very important. Paris Campbell not dropping touchdowns, also very important things you need to know. Alec Pierce last week dropped touchdown. I don't think there's a lot of targets given to him after that. You saw a lot more.
He also left the game with a concussion and has already been ruled out. So
I have to deal with
Pittman is a game time decision, and Pierce has already been ruled out. So there's a lot of targets already that are off the field. So Paris Campbell, when Pierce was out of the game with his concussion last week, got his target volume kind of spiked up at the end of the game. So give me that. Give me all that. Vacated doesn't really exist, but on a spot starts type of basis where Paris was already getting a lot of looks, I think at 3,700, it's easy to smash that and get 10 to 15 points out of the guy with upside for much more.
Yeah, if he catches a touchdown, I'm going to be cursing in my basement. Actually, I won't. I'll be driving with my family to the Outer Banks. Can't wait. All right, let's talk about tight ends because you've got Ross Dwelly, who is starting in place of George Kittle. Dwelly. Oh, wait, hold on. I'm prepared for this, right? Noise. Yeah.
Noise.
Yeah. Noise. So I got Dwelly, and
the tricky part for me is that Kittle has not been ruled out yet. He is questionable with the groin. He is at practice limited. I'm expecting Ross Dwelly to start. Yes, there you go. Perfect sounder.
Okay.
If Kittle plays, he's not going to be at full go with a groin injury after 2 weeks. Just fact of life. And Ross Dwelly, back in the day, won me a lot of money in DFS against the Cardinals defense back when they gave up 16 touchdowns in 2019. That was one of my best years in DFS. And it was basically just targeting bad defenses against the tight end position. And we just saw the Seahawks get lit up by a bevy of different tight ends by the Denver Broncos last week. So I think Dwelly and or Kittle are going to have a good game in this one. Trey Lance is going to need his tight end position.
Agreed. They're going to be on the field, so he can roll out and then, use them as blockers and then pitch it to them. And then, hopefully they don't do the Joel Everett bit from last night, but I love Joel Everett. I don't want to talk too much smack against him, but that man, oh my gosh. I like how he's looking for his mouthpiece. That took forever. I think by the time he found his mouthpiece, 30 yards had been accrued. It was so funny. You watch it in like real time. He's like, where is my mouthpiece? It reminded me, I'm not even going to say it because I'm going to put it out. Oh my gosh. I'm going to go viral tomorrow. All right. It's just perfect. I can't wait. All right. So let's talk my tight end. I'm going to say his name. Albert Okwuegbunam. Is that right?
You were so close. You started off right.
Okwuegbunam.
Yeah, there you go. Okwuegbunam. Yeah.
Okwuegbunam.
You did better. You did better than Al Michaels did, or no, it was Joe Buck. Joe Buck butchered it.
He's like Albert Okwuegbunam. What did you just, bro? That was a racial slur. I think you put in there.
Well, he started saying Albert after that.
Yeah, Albert. I just call him Albert O. Yeah. There you go.
And that's, if you're not going to say it right, just say Albert O because that's a respectful thing to do.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what I like about Albert O. 6 targets, 5 receptions, and like the yardage, 33. I think, honestly, I don't want to say this like too loud. It looked like Russ was a little intimidated by that crowd. At number 12, got in his head a little bit.
Oh, he was crushed on the inside to be booed like that. Absolutely destroyed him. Yeah, he cares so much about it, what other people think about him. The dude practices high fives. That hurt him to his core.
Did you see that clip where he kept being like, run a pass, call it out, run a pass. He's on the bench.
What a douchebag. I cannot stand Russell Wilson. Oh, I know he's a nice guy, but
they're like junior varsity coach or something yelling out.
What a douchebag.
Yeah. Well, we both bought down the Bengals D against you boys. Sorry, 2,200. They did this last year. The Bengals.
That's just smart. That's just smart DFS.
Why are they putting them down there? They're just doing that for fun, just so we can all like hop on.
Watch Cooper Rush throw for 3 touchdowns.
I know. All the Dalton Schultz.
Everybody's going to be on that defense with that price in this matchup. It's probably algorithm-wise it makes sense. Yeah. But with the matchup and the Dak injury that happened after they had run this algorithm, this is going to be a chalk fest at running back. So in a tournament, if you're playing this defense, correlate it with Joe Mixon or something like that, just to give yourself some differentiation there. Because if the Cowboys do score enough points and don't turn it over a bunch, then this Bengals pick at 2,200 is going to be a chalk dump.
Yeah. Yeah. No, this has been good. I got one more friend to shoot at you because I haven't done it yet, and that is Jerry Jeudy. Oh my gosh, he's my ace.
See, I hated that because Jeudy was the one I was trying to fit into my lineup, and of course we already matched 5 players here.
I know. Couldn't do anymore.
Yeah, and I was trying to get Jeudy in there, but I just couldn't do it. So that's where Paris Campbell came in because I ended up spending up and getting Gibson there at running back, and you spent down at RB1, or RB2 by price, and I spent up at my other running back besides Gibson so that I could get somebody else, but we
He's
just
my
slightly
ace.
different strategies.
Yeah, he's my Saquon. I need him. You
Yeah.
need Saquon, right? We
You
both
need
have a
Judy to be your
quarterback.
Saquon.
Yes. We both have our own quarterbacks. We both have our own running backs. We both have our own tight ends and our own wide receivers. So we have our own little 4-man fantasy team against each other. My
gonna
four
be
was sure four.
this,
It's gonna be tight. Oh my
I
gosh,
think this ties the record for most matches we've had on a blind lineup.
Totally. We do not correlate whatsoever. We don't even share with each other because we're trying to be very much. This is where we reveal it to each other. When we text
I don't want you to know until it's published.
Oh, of course. So, well, hey, guess what? We're gonna bring it back here in like 5 minutes or so. I'm gonna come back with Chalk Block. We're gonna talk the whole fucking slate, friends.
Boom!
Every single game, run the Sims, bring it back. Thank you. We're not going to say where you can find us because Bo_Mike Big Time. His whole LinkedIn tree is there. Find everything he does. Big Time Flavor Co. He's writing for Fantasy Pros, writing for Nimble W Numbers, all the stuff he does for IBT. Is that what it is? Yeah, boom. Okay, see, I'm probably missed one, but he does a lot. Check me out, nimblewnumbers.com. At Nim blew the numbers, man. He blew those numbers. So, all right, we'll see you guys soon. Peace. I blew them.